Nearly 6.5 years ago, 200 radiological technicians and lab personnel at the Huntington Ingalls Shipyard in Newport News, Virginia, voted for the IAM. Since then, the company has appealed the decision all the way to the Supreme Court and back, and lost every time. The wait is over, our time is now. That's the hymn coming from the bargaining unit that is finally in negotiations with the company. But to really understand what's at stake for the community, you have to know a little bit about these workers and the shipyard they call home. It's hard to find a spot in this city that doesn't tell the story of its past. Since the 17th century, Newport News has existed under many different names. But today, most historians agree the town was finally named in honor of Captain Christopher Newport. What started out as a small fishing village and nearby farms grew into a place of commerce, especially due to its proximity to the water and the completion of the C&O Railroad. But it was the Newport News Shipyard, founded in 1886, and the two great wars that followed that changed everything. During World War I, Newport News was established as a port of embarkation. And in the Second War, nearly 1.5 million military personnel passed through the city. The workers of this shipyard have built and maintained some of the most famous ships in American naval history. There's hardly been a time in the past when the community and the shipyard have not been intertwined. And that's why to these men and women, securing these jobs and this piece of military expertise is paramount. In their own words, this is their fight.
Basically, we work on aircraft carriers and submarines. We work inside the reactor compartment. And we do radiation surveys around the area, the affected area, prior to the maintenance people actually going in to work on these particular parts.
These are the first responders that let us know that there's a problem. Not only their employer, but the citizens of Virginia.
I had a call from Aaron Lawrence. I know Aaron through his father. His father and I worked together. In fact, his father was one of my mentors. And called me to say, hey, my son, Aaron called and said, want to talk to you about joining the union, forming the union. He and I got together, talked. I said, well, let's get together with some more guys. I wanted to see who else was interested. So we set up a series of meetings with several of the guys in the shipyard. I think we set about 3 or 4 different meetings to see the interest coming in. I told them what we need as the machinists, 65% interest for us to go to an election, and they went about working on getting that number.
When people kick dirt on you and punch you and hit you, eventually you get tired of that, and so you start trying to figure out how can I fight back, so that time had come.
Biggest issues are the way they're being treated. The other issue is how they get their raises or their pays. Those are the issues that's always have been from the beginning, the issues that they have.
And I know I was getting lowballed all these years as far as money and rate of pay and stuff like that. But I mean, that was really my driving force. And then over time, you find out as far as like requal money that the shipyard does get paid when we requal or get qualified. They get compensated for that, but some of that money is supposed to be ours too, and they're getting compensated in the other yards. They get requal bonuses, things like that. Just started building up, just over time, started thinking.
I think the company looks at it's a big turnover, and they'll get a new body, and I guess they never thought that these guys would stand up and say, we're going to organize.
Just talking bad to people, and the treatment, being forced to do things that that other people didn't have to do, meaning working long hours, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. Then when you ask for time off, they, backlash and, wanting you to, come on to work. We need you here at work, But in the meantime, when your kids are having recitals and things like that, then you're missing them because they're forcing you to be at work. And because we didn't have a voice, you could possibly get fired. So you had to come to work.
What's so sad about it, it's right underneath the nose of our federal government, the people who are supposed to be protecting the American worker. This is the Department of Defense industry. These people work for a company under the Department of Defense. And as a veteran, who served overseas, got the medals from Beirut and the whole 9 yards, it's a shame that our defense industry feels so small about the workers that provide the initial protection of this country. The making of the product, the repair of the product that the warfighter, the soldier, the sailor, the Marine, the airman uses, but yet our government can do nothing.
What I want is a good contract that I guess, everybody's happy with. I mean, I know that's not probably going to happen for everybody, but, I hope to have a little compensation in there and some, the wages be a little better because we're kind of all over the place. So line that up. As far as we get a time and a half after physically working 40 hours, does our time and a half kick in? So I definitely believe, hopefully we will get that. That's really important.
Better wages, of course. Having our co-workers being treated with respect. That's been a real big thing for us. And, and then just reaping the benefits of having a voice. So those things I think will go a long way.
6.5 years really is the company. The election was quick. The ballots were sequestered. They had 7 ballots that were challenged, but they sequestered it until the first Department of Labor hearing was done. Once that was done, then we counted the ballots and counted the sequestered ballots. Of course, the union won.
The delay game, I mean, it's constant, it's out there, we all hear about it, but we never hear about it to this degree. And I think the particular situation these workers here are under, it should be highlighting to everybody that the system is broken.
Now, we never stopped signing people up. We sent applications. I'd give Aaron applications. He had passed them out to the guys. So we were still getting folks in. They were still working, and so I knew it wasn't dead. They just had to be patient, just like I had to be patient.
It's been 6.5 years, this fight, in and out of court, the company just dragging it along.
We won, so it's finally over. 6.5 years of waiting.
I think they knew it would eventually happen, but they kept us tied up in court as long as they possibly could, thinking that if we try to slow it down, maybe people won't be interested. But in the same fashion, they continued to make it hard for people at work. So the people got more excited about it when they heard the possibility of us having a union. So I think it backfired on them.
But this fight, I don't mind this fight. This is negotiations. This is what I love. The other one was out of my hands. It's court. Other folks making decisions. This one, we put the gloves on. We're fighting machinists, so let's get it.
And I'm proud to stand with them. I mean, this is a story that needs to be told. It really does need to be told.
With Larry and Joe, supporting us, having our back, and then with the education they're giving us, I feel really good.
Yeah, the safeguards are on the way, and it's called Machinist Union.
The fight is not over. Right now, it's a back and forth at the bargaining table. But the IM isn't going anywhere until a first contract is reached. And the Machinist News Network will continue to keep you posted on the story. Be sure to stay tuned.